Once the travel...
Hey, Auroron, over here!
Oh, hey there, Traveler and Paimon.
So you were looking for us? We came as soon as we heard.
You did? That makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Is this what happiness feels like?
The heck? Where is this coming from?
You are truly the best friends I could ask for. If my vegetables met you, I'm sure they'd grow all the more lush for it.
What makes you say that?
Well, it's a compliment. I heard that complimenting... It's that obvious, huh? Well, you're right. I feel like an aphid who can't find a flower. Granny is standing in my way. Yes, Granny's a genius, as you know. Geniuses often stand in the way of others, leading them to despair. And on top of that, I'm her grandson, which means I get a double dose of despair. If that sounds serious, it's because it is.
Oh, what happened exactly? You make it sound so dramatic.
I had to get you involved. Most people can't deal with Of course you can. You were the first person I thought of, Gramps. Gramps is what I called you when we first met, and I know I got told off for it, but please let me off for calling you that one more time. It feels like there's something unique about you. Even Granny Seatlali treats you like you're someone special. And everything that's happened since we met suggests it's true. If I had a woven scroll that listed the 40 people who can deal with Granny Seatlali, your name would be at the top of that list.
Wait, so who are these other 39?
Also the Traveler. The rest of the list is just the Traveler 39 more times. Please, you've got to help me. This is really important. Although it looks like I'm just hanging around with nothing to do, inside, I'm distraught about the path ahead. Granny Seatlali is blocking my way and I can't get past. But now that you're here, I can start moving again, before time runs out. You know how much Granny loves to drink, nap, and read light novels, right? If you offer her what she wants, I'm sure you can lure her away.
You mean use those things as bait to distract her so she won't notice what you're up to?
That's right. Don't worry, I won't make you do all the work. I've planned it all out, including what you need to say. All you need to do is walk up to her and tell her this. Dear Granny, I have the latest volume of Mirage Warriors here, along with the special edition spin. She'll pretend not to be interested for a few seconds, then think...
He's just trying to butter you up. Even Paimon can tell. He's just saying whatever it takes to persuade you.
No, I mean it. Granny might not say it out loud, but I can tell she has a soft spot for the Traveler.
If you say so. Paimon's still not convinced, but if all we have to do is say a few words to Seatlali...
It's as easy as watering vegetables, and if my vegetables were here, they'd... Sorry, there's no time for vegetable talk. Just trust me. Let me take you to her. With you here, everything will be better. It's Granny. She's gone. She was standing there at the cave entrance to stop me from going in, standing right in my way.
Oh, you meant literally standing in your way. This whole time, Paimon thought you were being metaphorical.
Granny says it's tacky when light novels use contrived metaphors. I don't want to be tacky.
Wait, but...
What? Oh, darn it.
Yeah, see, Lolly probably figured there was no point standing in your way anymore.
I don't think it'll be that simple. Granny wouldn't release me from her grasp so easily. She might have laid a trap for me or...
Yeah, let alone lay a trap for you. Unless... You haven't been up to no good again, have you?
I just want to rescue someone, and Granny won't let me.
Rescue someone? Oh no, what happened?
Could I ask you to go inside and take a look at him? I think he should be safe for now, but he'll be at greater and greater risk as time goes by.
But then, what are you going to do?
I'll have to wait outside, or I might fall into one of Granny's traps.
You mean you want us to fall into her traps instead?
No, you'll be fine. Granny's traps will recognize it's the Traveler, so they'll leave you alone. Sure it is. I mean, I've told my aphids all about your heroic deeds, so I assume Granny's told her traps too.
You can't just assume that.
Either way, I'm counting on you, Gramps.
Well, sounds like someone's life is at stake, so we should probably head in and check things out. Guess we just keep following this path? Auroran seemed pretty confident that Lolly's traps won't harm us. But still, it can't hurt to be careful. We made it in without a hitch. Maybe St. Lolly's traps can recognize us after all. Wait, look! There's someone there! Hi! Are you okay? Can you Is he asleep? Or sick? Do you think this is the guy Auroran was talking about? Also, what the heck's been going on here? Lots of strange and mysterious stuff around. Could be. Let's get Auroran in here. He'll know what this is all about.
Sorry, Granny.
All grown up now, are we?
I'm truly sorry.
Now that you're one of the 6 heroes, you think you can do as you please, do you? Well, explain yourself, you dummy! How exactly were you thinking of helping that spirit duffer?
Auroran! And, hey, Seed Lolly.
Huh? Huh? When did you guys... Oh, drat. I wasn't expecting them. And now the Traveler probably caught me yelling at Auroran. Oh, this is not a good look for me. Hello there, you two. We were just, Auroran and I we were play acting. You know, acting out some scenes from a light novel, quoting the lines. I didn't actually mean what I was saying. Right, Auroran?
Huh? Yes, that's right. I owe you an apology too, Traveler. I asked you for help, but I forgot to watch my back and Granny caught me. And now we're play acting.
Traveler, come on. Now's not the time for games. So what are you two up to exactly? Did something happen to this poor...
Yeah. It's a kind of spell that lets your spirit leave... Leela's problem is his spirit has gotten lost and can't find its way back to his body.
So in other words, his body's here, but his soul's gone?
Well, technically the soul and the spirit aren't quite the same thing, but yes, in a nutshell, that's basically it.
I just wanted to help bring Leela's spirit back.
And I wouldn't have stopped him if it was anyone else. But the issue is, Mr. Leela here is what we call a spirit duffer.
What's a spirit duffer?
Someone with no spiritual sensitivity whatsoever. Spirit duffers can't sense or control spirits, much less use spells on them. Now, there are certain methods that can force even spirit duffers into a clairvoyant state. But, well, I mean, look what happened to Mr. Leela. The spells of the Masters of the Nightwind are all based on dealing with spirits, and so are all our problem-solving methods. So for spirit duffers, even our healing methods don't work on them. So, if they get into trouble trying to use a spell, there's basically nothing we can do.
Yes, there is. As long as the soul is involved, I should be able to help.
You hear that? No prizes for guessing what Auroron's bright idea was.
Oh, because of your special constitution, right? But isn't it kind of risky for you?
I'll be fine. Granny's just worrying too much. I'm feeling fine now, so I should be able to do it safely. Besides, it's probably...
Don't kid yourself. What happens if it's not as safe as you're hoping, We both know you'll risk it all to try and rescue him anyway. Honestly, you're such an idiot sometimes.
This is a tricky one. It's true that a...
Call me an idiot all you want. I know I can bring his spirit back. I just need your support.
Hey, that's enough, you little squirt. Since when does the grandkid call the shots? Granny obviously knows how to handle this.
Huh? You do?
Wait, really? You actually know a way to save him?
Yes. I mean, it's a crude solution. But that's beside the point. The point being, don't interfere when Granny's already got things under control. Anyway, Traveler, I was actually going to ask for your help on this. My plan will take quite a lot of work, and it's a little too much for one person.
Oh, great! Well, it's a good thing Auroron brought us here then.
I intend to use a two-pronged approach. The first is the crude method. Basically, it's looking for a needle in a haystack. See the thing I've drawn around Leela's body? That's a gateway to the Night Kingdom. Once the gateway is activated, all roaming spirits in the area, I'll lend you some of my power like last time, so you can use my clairvoyance. It only works if you use this projection sensor first, though, so don't forget that step. Don't worry, this time nothing can go wrong. You'll just feel like you're in the Night Kingdom, and you'll see a lot of roaming spirits around you. All you need to do is gather them up. You can leave Auroron to sift through them and find Leela. Since he wants to help so bad, he can take the hardest job. Draw him back, using what I know about the instincts of spirits. As we all know, if we can find out what mystery Leela wanted to learn the truth of, we can use that to draw his lost spirit back here. I'll do some clairvoyance of my own, and channel it through Leela's body. That should give me some idea of what he was thinking.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets it now. The first approach is like fishing with a net, and the second is like fishing with bait. Just like how Auroron wanted us to lure you away with the promise of light novels.
Your point would have been just as clear without the example, Paimon.
What? Don't think I won't revisit this later.
But Granny, it's amazing that you can use a person as a clairvoyance medium. I always thought you had to use inanimate objects.
You can't flatter your way out of this one. But you're not wrong. A person without a spirit is just a physical shell, which, for our purposes, makes them an inanimate object. Traveler, just over there is my spirit loom, which will record the fragments I see during clairvoyance. Once I begin, please arrange them on a woven scroll for me. Let me know when you're ready. We should get to work. Are you ready? Don't worry, the spirit loom is very easy to use. I...
Oh, the woven scroll is...
Huh? It's Sanhaj Kampore.
Huh? You mean that Sanhaj? Auroran's ancient name hero guy?
That's right. He was not only one of the 6 heroes, but also a legendary border master of our tribe. 500 years on, and the remains of his spirit is still so strong.
Border Master is an honorable title, by the way. It's only given to powerful figures like Granny Seatlali.
No, not like me. The most powerful border masters can expand the borders of the Night Kingdom and temporarily manifest part of it in the real world. I'm no amateur with border spells, but Sanhaj is in a league of his own. They say his border mastery was what turned the tide in the Battle of the Mare Javari 500 years ago. Legend has it that Sanhaj summoned a miniature Night Kingdom and exploded it to defeat the encroaching Dark Calamity.
Whoa, he must have been really strong!
Of course, it came at a great price. As far as I understand, both Sanhaj and Tainoch, the leader of the tribal coalition forces, gave their lives to activate this spell. I don't know what Leela was thinking. Even I'd think twice before seeking out Sanhaj Kampore during clairvoyance. So what sort of spirit duffer in their right mind would... I guess folly is the greater part of bravery. I'm starting to feel like something else is at play here. I think I'll pay a visit to his house and see if I can find any clues. Yep, you can keep gathering the roaming spirits. That won't be affected. Hopefully you do find Leela that way, because it'll save us an awful lot of trouble. But before that, it looks like we now have another problem on our hands. Connecting with the spirit of Sanhaj Kampore has caused quite a stir. I think we may have just spooked all the monsters in the area. Traveler, if you've got some time, could you go and get them to pipe down a bit? We don't want them to start attacking innocent bystanders.
It's fine. I can handle that.
Oh no, you're staying right here, mister. The Traveler...
All right then. Sorry, Traveler. Over to you, I guess.
Yeah, don't sweat it! The most important thing right now is getting Leela's spirit back.
All right.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler? It has been several days since Ganyu left for Joyun Karst.
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Joyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu, she couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking...
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to do.
Speaking of Joyun Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times.
That's good news. Could you go to Joyun Karst and find... we're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Ridge.
It's about time she came back to work. Otherwise...
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outfo? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find her there. Remember the first time we came here? We even brought offerings and everything. And when we told her that Rex Lapis had been assassinated, she immediately threatened to squash Liyue Harbor. Paimon thought she'd be impossible to get along with. But now that we've spent some more time together, she's really not like that at all. We probably don't need to bring any offerings now that we've gotten to know her pretty well, right? Still, Paimon's got some snacks around here somewhere, so if she really wants something, we can just use that. Huh? Traveler, did something catch your eye? Whoa, what a pretty lady. Is she also here to visit Cloud Retainer? Yeah, you're right. All it takes is one look and you can tell she's someone special. As expected of that bird lady, really. She must have a whole bunch of Adepti friends from all over the country. Okay, but if we're both friends of Cloud Retainer, then we're basically friends by association, right? Want to go up to her and say hello? Helping you make more connections is a part of Paimon's job as your reliable guide. Paimon's got this. Paimon is Paimon!
You two... What is this tomfoolery? Has a shift in form so clouded your eyes that you no longer recognize one anymore?
Wait, you're... Huh? You're the illuminated bird? But you look... human! How did that happen?
Oh, donning human form is scarcely any test of one's abilities. As for your confusion, one merely had no reason to indulge such inclinations before.
So,
Well, one has made plans to pay a visit to some disciples at Liyue Harbor. Taking on a human form for such a trip is simply a way to make matters less conspicuous.
you? Worrying about keeping a low profile? You're the one who likes to pop up out of nowhere all over the place!
Ahem.
Hey, didn't we agree not to bring that up unless she asked?
Oh? So you have taken care to follow the proper rules of etiquette after all. Most commendable.
Well, this is all Paimon's got. You don't mind, right?
One has never found oneself lacking in basic comforts. On the contrary,
That kinda makes Paimon feel a little guilty for trying to keep them for herself. Anyway, right. So by disciples, you must mean Ganyu and Shenhe. It's a...
one planned to extend the invitation even if you had not raised the matter yourself. Shenhe, however, one would first inquire as to the reason behind your visit here. You have cause to seek one's company?
Yeah, we just found ourselves missing you and wanted to see how you were doing. We were hoping you'd tell us one of your stories. Who knew we'd...
Is that so? If there are no urgent matters at hand, then let us make haste for Liyue Harbor. Ganyu is likely still working at Yuehai Pavilion, so that shall be our first stop.
Sounds great! Then let's all go to Liyue Harbor!
Ganyu has been quite busy with work as of late. One can count. Shenhe has also secured employment recently. In her correspondence with me, she wrote that she shall have no need to return for the foreseeable future. Huh. Did they think one was so easily mollified? One shall investigate everything with one's own eyes and decide for one's...
We're almost at Yuehai Pavilion. Hey, do you think Ganyu will be shocked to see Cloud Retainer like this? Guess we have no idea if Shenhe and Ganyu have ever seen her in this form before. Wait, where did she go? Why are you just standing there, Cloud Retainer?
Quietly now. One shall stay here. You two can go and meet with her.
But why? Isn't it better if we all go together?
If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, one does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice. Do remember to inquire as...
Fair enough, makes sense.
Cloud Retainer?
Oh, busted.
Is that lady someone you know, Ms. Ganyu?
She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting?
Oh, not to worry, Ms. Ganyu. I'll make the necessary arrangements right away.
Thank you, Huixin.
It's been a while, Ganyu.
Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud Retainer, too. It's been quite some time since I last saw you in this form.
You are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this cloud retainer of whom you speak. One is simply a mere mortal passerby.
Huh?
Seems she's not buying it.
That was but a simple test. One did not expect you to be able to recognize one so easily, especially after so many years of only seeing one's other form.
But recognizing you is, my responsibility as your...
An apt observation. One was simply passing by while attending to some important business.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of any important... Cloud Retainer's right! We've still got something.
Oh, is that so?
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work.
I understand.
While one acknowledges the amount of work that you have to deal with every day, one must also remind you to rest. It still makes one nostalgic to see you as you are now.
Cloud Retainer! Stop!
If you insist.
Wow, you've been to so many new places since the last time we spoke. If you ever need anything, also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer.
A human name? Huh. You raised...
You really think so? Not that you're not famous or anything.
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible.
Can you?
I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of years past would rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered. The writer referenced Master's name to describe her carefree.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of Adepti could rise with the clouds and rest with the moon.
Actually, those lines were originally written to describe Cloud Retainer herself.
Huh? Wait, so you're really that powerful?
And what of it? Did you truly take one to be nothing more than a bird of...
Not exactly.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past It is said that once, a long... Although I did not live through such tragedy, simply reading about it is enough to gain a visceral understanding of all the pain and desperation during that time. On top of the drought, a noxious gas also began to spread through the land. If not for Cloud Retainer's efforts, much of Liyue would be nothing more than a barren wasteland today. The books had this to say about what happened. Upon arrival, the Adeptus borrowed the wind to retain the clouds. Immediately, the clouds gathered together, and abundant rain burst forth from the heavens. Drought and plague were both driven away, and the people were saved.
Wow, that's incredible!
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past events. One did merely what one ought, and even if one had not interceded, the other Adepti would surely have stepped in to help.
Even so, you stopped an entire drought! Can you really control the weather like the book said? Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you. So it was Paimon's bad for calling you Illuminated Bird before. You're not too mad, are you?
How laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our journey through the world. Why would one be offended by such a trivial...
That's a relief.
Well, that is quite enough ancient history for now. Ganyu, have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job Moreover, does she find herself overly inundated with work?
That is a lot of questions.
There is no cause for concern, Cloud Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally. Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming recently. So, with Chef Mao being swamped with customers, and Shangling still off and out in...
I see. Most excellent indeed. one has had the pleasure of being introduced. Now, it is almost time to partake in the victuals of noon.
Huh? But did it...
Can that wait until after?
You may return to your work, Ganyu. One shall see to this matter on one's own. There will be many an occasion.
Of course, Cloud Retainer. Please take care. Travel...
See you around, Ganyu! Whew! Paimon was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation.
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us.
Huh. She really seems to be playing up the whole mysterious Adeptus thing right now. Is it because we just heard that cool story about her powers?
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world.
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back!
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave. My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishu. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me. Since the chief, I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort. After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But...
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks... a matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Ah, yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends, tales from her youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so...
Oh, Paimon wants to hear it.
Little Ganyu loved when the horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns. She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow.
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball. The day Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
Cloud Retainer? Ugh, forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
One's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive.
Be that so? But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival. One cannot help but feel that remaining in Jueyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it. Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Jueyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany her.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Ganyu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong. Anyways, what's that training Ganyu was talking about?
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Jueyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end.
She should be in the southern part of Mount Aotsong right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh, is that so? Let's go.
did you come here? Is that so? You really are interested in the ways of Adepti. This trial was prepared by Cloud Retainer. Its goal is to help me feel like an Adeptus again. The training is much to her signature style. I hope it won't make it seem like she is too unaware of the abilities of others.
Is it difficult?
No, I'm aware of your strength, Traveler. The power hidden within you is not inferior to mine. If you're ready, we shall begin the training.
There's a lot of gliding around. It does feel like something Cloud Retainer would come up with.
If you could see through the eyes of an Adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised. We've completed the task. I agree. You possess...
Ganyu, what were you planning to do once your training was over?
The training's not over yet. The part prepared by Cloud Retainer is only the first trial.
Huh? So there are more trials prepared by other...
No. The only
Who is it?
Conqueror of Demons.
Huh. So it's Xiao.
I found him unapproachable at first, too. But he's already waiting for me. Come along.
Of course we are.
You're half an hour late. I see you still haven't abandoned the wrongful ways of humankind.
I'm sorry. I had a meeting with Cloud Retainer. I
don't need your explanations and don't require any mutual understanding.
Xiao is such a strict teacher.
You're neither an Adeptus nor a human, always treading the line between the two worlds. It must create a lot of confusion. Instead of explaining yourself to me, you should face your true self.
I have nothing to hide.
The body and the mind are one. If something worries your mind, the trial I've prepared for you will explore the true potential of your body.
Yes.
The trial's begun! Paimon can feel it in the air. Even the weather's changed!
Windblade!
Don't get frostbite.
Time for retribution! With the wind!
Cool it!
When I practice my spells in weather like this, I can do half the work for double the impact. I'm just teasing. Let's spark things up a little. Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.